I am certain that Donald Trump woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning because immediately after rolling out, he was hit with a barrage of brutal new ads. These are some of the best ads that I have seen from this campaign cycle, and I am so excited to share each and every one with you. Before I get started, my name is Brett Meiselas. I need you to hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers, and we cannot do it without you. Oh, I'm so excited to play this new ad from the Harris campaign. This is absolutely brutal, and it hones in on Donald Trump's statements about dogs and cats from the debate, and it's just absolutely brilliant. Watch.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. This is what's happening in our country.
While Trump is focused on that, Kamala Harris is focused on you.
It is important that we move forward and address the needs of the American people, address the housing shortage, support our small businesses, address bringing down the price of groceries. And I pledge to you that I will.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
That's so good. And here is a brilliant new series of Harris ads where they take two former Trump voters and lifelong Republicans and Pennsylvanians, Bob and Christina Lang, and they speak about how they're now supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. Watch this.
Bob and I both voted for Donald Trump.
I voted for him twice. I won't vote for him again. January 6th was a wake-up call for me.
Donald Trump divides people. We've already seen what he has to bring.
He didn't do anything to help us. Kamala Harris, she cares about the American people. I think she's got the wherewithal to make a difference. I've never voted for a Democrat.
Yes, we're both lifelong Republicans.
The choice is very simple.
I'm voting for Kamala.
I am voting for Kamala Harris.
And George Conway's PAC, known as the Anti-Psychopath PAC, has released these incredibly powerful ads featuring Donald Trump's sexual assault accusers. I do want to give you a trigger warning before I play these ads because they are absolutely chilling. Here is Natasha Stoynoff telling her story.
My name is Natasha Stoynoff. In 2005, I went to interview Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. At one point, Melania went upstairs to change her clothes for the next photo shoot. And Trump said to me, I want to show you this beautiful painting, this beautiful room. He leads me to this room, pushes me against the wall, and starts kissing me forcefully. I tried to push him. He kept coming back at me. I was in shock and smothered, and he had his hands here against my shoulders. I felt sick inside. I felt horrified. And thank goodness the butler charges into the room. Like many women, I blamed myself. So Trump turned to me and said, you know we're going to have an affair, don't you? And Melania was approaching. I was horrified. When the Access Hollywood tape came out, and also stories of many other women, including E. Jean Carroll, I realized I was not to blame, that he was just a predator of women. What could have happened if the butler had not come into the room? Donald Trump is an adjudicated sexual assaulter. We cannot elect this man as president.
Anti-Psychopath PAC Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Here's Jessica Leeds sharing her story.
1979, I had gotten on an airplane. The stewardess said to me, would you like to come up to first class? In the window seat was a gentleman, said that his name was Donald Trump. The airplane took off, and all of a sudden, Donald Trump started groping me. He was trying to kiss me, and I'm trying to push him away. He was basically overpowering me. When he started putting his hand up my skirt, I got out of the seat, grabbed my purse, and went back to my original seat. And I certainly was shook up by the whole thing. 2 years later, at this fundraiser, up comes Trump and his wife. And he looked at me and he said, I remember you. You're that cunt from the airplane. Donald Trump views women as for his entertainment. He is a serial predator. He has said it point blank, and he's done it, and he will continue to do it.
Anti-Psychopath PAC Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We can never let Donald Trump hide from those stories. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is pushing back at Donald Trump's constant claims that America is a, quote, failing nation. This ad is amazing. Watch.
There are two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past.
We're a failing nation, a nation that is dying. We're a nation that's in serious decline.
What I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do. We all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
In this next ad from Vice President Harris, she says that she remains focused on the American people while Donald Trump remains focused on himself. I love this contrast right here.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Kamala Harris also launched a series of ads in support of Ukraine. I'm so happy she is focusing on this topic because I feel it has been so overlooked in recent months. These ads, for those wondering, are playing in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, where there is a significant population of people from places like Poland and Ukraine and other neighboring countries to the area. People who know the impact of a Trump presidency would be if he allows Vladimir Putin to run over Ukraine. Watch this first one.
When Mongol warriors stormed Ukraine, Kyiv's church bells rang a night warning. They rang again when Ukrainians rallied for democracy. Today, they're warning the world of Putin's threat to freedom. Yet Donald Trump embraces Putin.
I like Putin, he likes me.
He picked J.D. Vance.
I don't really care what happens to Ukraine.
But Kamala Harris cares. She knows standing up to Putin keeps America safe.
Now I want to show you the next one.
Centuries ago, as invaders marched from the east, a Polish watchman blew his trumpet to warn his people. Today, freedom-loving Poles and Ukrainians are warning us of a new threat. Donald Trump encouraged Putin to attack our allies.
No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
But Kamala Harris has heard the trumpet call. She will defend our brave allies for their freedom and for ours.
And here's the third one they're playing.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
American presidents, Republican and Democrat, have always defied Russia's communist dictators and defended American ideals. Kamala Harris gets this.
If we stand by while an aggressor invades its neighbor with impunity, they will keep going.
Kamala Harris will stand up to Putin, protect our allies, and keep us safe.
Have you heard of NAD+? It's a molecule in every cell of your body, and it's critical to aging well. NAD+ helps keep us feeling youthful by promoting cellular energy, maintaining healthy DNA using nutrients efficiently, and supporting detoxification. By age 50, most people's NAD+ levels are only half of what they were at age 20. Falling NAD+ levels is a major reason that signs of aging start to accelerate. Luckily, science has discovered a way to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%. It's called Qualia NAD+, a groundbreaking supplement from Qualia. Many doctors and health experts over age 30 use Qualia NAD+ themselves, and I'm proud to have them sponsor this episode. NAD+ is a large molecule that struggles to be bioavailable if you supplement it directly. That's why Qualia NAD+ supports NAD+ the right way by including ingredients called NAD+ precursors that your body can convert into NAD+ to boost your body's own NAD+ production up to 50%. That's great. These are vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free ingredients like niacin, niacinamide, Niagen, also known as NR. These are three of the most well-researched NAD+ precursors, and all three are in Qualia NAD+ to maximize your body's NAD+ production. Qualia NAD+ is clinically tested and naturopathic, doctor formulated. Look, I want to feel decades younger than my actual age. That's why I'm staying at the cutting edge of aging research and boosting my NAD+ levels with Qualia NAD+. After just a month of Qualia NAD+, I'm feeling energy support and vitality return that I haven't felt in years. So to boost your NAD+ levels up to 50%, go to qualialife.com/Jordy. I love that. For up to 50% off, and use code Jordy at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's Qualia Life, spelled QUALIA LIALIFE.com/Jordy. Go to qualityoflife.com/Jordy and use code Jordy, spelled JORDY, for an extra 15% off your purchase. Thanks, Qualia, for sponsoring this episode.
And in recent days, Donald Trump has gone back to mocking Volodymyr Zelensky and ramping up his attacks on Ukraine. This is because Zelensky came to the United States of America for the UN, and he met in Pennsylvania with Josh Shapiro, who Donald Trump views as a Kamala Harris surrogate, therefore views him as the enemy. I'm not making this up. So now we're seeing at all of Donald Trump's rallies in the past week, he is mocking Zelensky, refusing to criticize Putin at all, just like in this moment yesterday in Savannah, Georgia. Watch this.
We will win. We will. He's been saying that for 3 years. Every time Zelensky comes to the United States, he walks away with $100 billion. I think he's the greatest salesman on earth. But we're stuck in that war unless I'm president. I'll get it done. I'll get it negotiated. I'll get out. We got to get out. Biden says, we will not leave until we win. What happens if they win? That's what they do, is they fight wars. As somebody told
That's just reprehensible anti-American stuff from Donald Trump right there. And now Vaughn Hilliard has this reporting because originally Donald Trump was supposed to meet with Zelensky while Zelensky was in town. But Vaughn Hilliard reports that two sources tell us Trump chose to not meet with Zelensky after his comments this week and appearing alongside Harris, quote, surrogates in Pennsylvania. One said Zelensky's actions this week suggest he is, quote, prepared to interfere with election to ensure, quote, Democrat money train continues into Kyiv. Absolutely gross. And this is all because Zelensky met with Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania. I mean, this is kind of the same kind of quid pro quo sort of stuff that we saw Donald Trump do that he got impeached over. And he is trying it again before this election, trying to strong arm Zelensky, trying to threaten Zelensky because of the election. This is absolutely disgraceful stuff we are seeing from Donald Trump and his campaign. And by the way, his running mate, J.D. Vance, is absolutely no better. Jake Traylor reports that when J.D. Vance was asked if he believes Ukraine should cede land in exchange for ending the war, J.D. Vance's response was, quote, everything is going to be on the table. And I think that's an important point that we need to share because we often hear Donald Trump say that he will end this war within 24 hours. Let me translate that Trumpism into English for you, okay? What he is saying there is that he wants to hand Ukraine to Putin. He wants to just give up. He wants to throw in the white flag and give Ukraine to Putin. That is the context behind Trump's remarks and Vance's remarks. Okay, back to the ads. I love this series of ads from Republican voters against Trump. This is an ad featuring former Trump voters that are now voting for Kamala Harris in 2024. And this ad, for those asking, is running in Arizona, Michigan, Nebraska, and Pennsylvania and Wisconsin as part of an $11.5 million swing state ad blitz. Watch.
I'm a two-time Trump voter.
In 2024, I cannot support Donald Trump.
Trump is 100%
responsible for January 6th.
His treatment of women
is just disgusting.
Trump called servicemen suckers and losers.
If Trump has a second term,
it will be much worse than the first.
Kamala Harris is a prosecutor.
He's a convicted felon.
In 2024,
I will be
proudly voting for Kamala Harris.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Here's another new ad from the Kamala Harris campaign called Focused. She says, while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts, but Kamala Harris is focused on you. Watch.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I love these new Lincoln Project ads. I want to play one more. This is the Lincoln Project mocking Donald Trump for his debate performance and saying, Donald, we don't need to know about your cognitive tests, all right? Everybody in this country saw you take one in front of the entire nation during that debate, and you failed. Watch.
You lost, Donald. Bigly.
Frankly, he lost the debate.
The worst debate performance in history. Even Fox can't defend you.
Oh my God.
Lindsey Graham called it a disaster. Your team? Depressed. Freaked out. Kamala owned you.
Donald Trump was fired.
Told the truth about your little crowds. Called out your stupid lies.
You're eating the pets.
You kept taking the bait, and she kept winning. People are saying you should get out, give up. She's better than you. You keep bragging about how smart you are.
Concepts of a plan.
But that debate was a test, a cognitive test, and you failed.
Just for fun, I want to go back to a short that we made here at the MeidasTouch Network. Here's one of the first videos that we released. It was called Creepy Trump, and it uses Kellyanne Conway's words. It flips them to describe Donald Trump, and it is definitely very, very creepy stuff. Watch.
A lot of really creepy statements, actions for sure, but statements that he's made in the past that make me very uncomfortable, certainly as a mother, but as a person who breathes air.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
Really creepy statements.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Stop it. Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Yeah. It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have of Marla's?
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He's definitely not a typical father.
Creepy.
And now let me follow that up with one of our newest shorts that shows Donald Trump's steep mental decline. I love this one also, and thank you to everybody who's been sharing it. Watch this.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro? Venezuela, it's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by anonymous,
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
So we are in crunch time, folks. We got something like 42 days or so before the election. I can't believe that it is coming up that quickly, but I love to see that all of these outlets, Kamala Harris, Lincoln Project, all of Republican voters against Trump, all of these groups are putting out these incredible and brutal ads. And Donald Trump has really been freaking out about these spots. You see his campaign staff making all these comments about them. You see Donald Trump sending late night posts about these spots. They are really getting in his head. And more importantly, they are really reaching the voters, which is so important. And they could reach more voters one way. That's if you share them, which is why we like putting them all in these videos so that you could just share this video out and say, hey, check out all this messaging. Check out what is actually going on out there. One way that you could help with that also is by hitting the subscribe button. Like I said earlier, we are on our way to 3.5 million subscribers. We are gaining thousands and thousands of subscribers every day. Thanks to you. We cannot do it without you. Also, go ahead and add the MeidasTouch podcast on audio. Anywhere you get audio podcasts, go ahead and add it. Leave us a 5-star review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.